Approve. Okay. It's top of the hour. So hello, hello, hello. It is 3 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Central time. And we're so glad to have you here on the 5 Days of Focus. This is our live show. We've started this recently, and I think it's an excellent opportunity to hear from some experts on how you can get the most out of your time, how you can really focus in, and that you can have the life, you can have a yes and life. What I mean by that is, yes, you can do this and you can do that. You can have it all. And so we are looping in our experts. We're looping in our experts. So I'm Keita Williams, in case you don't know. I'm Keita Williams. I'm the founder and chief strategist of Success Bully. Success Bully is an elite accountability practice, and so that makes me your personal, professional butt kicker. And we are so thrilled. We're going to do another 5 Days of Focus sprint. And so that is the first week of August. So keep your eye on this space because we're going to walk you through our process to get you in motion. I have a special announcement before we hand it over to our wonderful guest. We have a winner of our referral program. So I want to special shout out to Brittany Wheeler. Brittany, way to win the referral program. Thank you for inviting your power network to our group. And we're so excited to grow the group. We're excited for your help. So we will be following up with you to get your 90-minute goal setting time with me. So congratulations, Brittany. Now, on to the big handoff. Thank you so much for joining us today, Myoshia Boyken Anderson. I am so glad that you're here. So I'm going to just ask you to give us a little bit of your background, quick overview on your business. You have an amazing backstory that I think I just want everyone to hear. Everyone's got to know it. So I'm going to hand it over to you. Tell us a little bit more about you.
Okay, awesome. Well, listen, it is a pleasure to be here. I am so excited today to just sit here and chat with you, right? And just chat with you. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about myself. My name is Myoshia Boyken Anderson. I am the proud owner of AndTech Solutions. We are an IT consulting company focusing on developing technical solutions for you and your business. So we work on projects of all sizes, whether you need the spreadsheet that you work on every day to turn cartwheels, because that's what we do, or you find yourself not being able to find the exact software programs that you need, so you need a custom solution. We will build that for you too. And we do everything in between. We even serve as an outsourced IT department. Think of us as your virtual help desk. So that is what we do at AndTech Solutions. So I'm excited about being here with you. I'm actually excited about sharing my story. You know, I get super excited every time I get a chance to share it because there are so many nuggets found inside that story. So I'm excited to be here, and hey, let's just start the conversation.
Okay. So so this is your second business?
This is my second business, yes.
Okay. So how did you start the first one, and then how did you transition to the second one?
Okay, so I have been an entrepreneur since 1998. So I started my first business in November 98. Let me give you a little bit of that backstory because it has a lot of, like I said, nuggets in there. So February 1998, I am sitting in my office at a job that I absolutely loved, right? I thought I had arrived. I was a single mother. I was living paycheck to paycheck, didn't have a savings, but I enjoyed my job and I was on the up. I was coming up, right? Well, one day, February, my manager walked into the office. Now, she worked in the Dallas office. I worked in the Houston office. She walked into the office one day and she said, "We've decided to close the office." Now, initially, I mean, it hit me. But initially, my thoughts were, well, when a company says they're going to close the office, it may take, you know, they're starting the planning process, right? It's going to take them a while to actually close it. She said today.
What? So you had this much warning?
Okay. I said, okay. I admit that I had to excuse myself and run to the ladies' room where I bawled, like literally, oh my God, what am I going to do? Oh my God. But then I cleaned myself up and I went back out there. And she even had nerve enough to ask me to help her clean the office, right? But anyway, I did
That's
it.
a whole other story. That's a whole other story.
But I'll tell you what happened to me that day
Hmm.
was that I determined that nobody else would have that power over me again. Literally.
Okay, that's
That is
powerful.
the
That's
day.
powerful. Hmm.
That's the day that it was born, right? That
Hmm.
at
Hmm.
least it was planted, right?
Hmm.
So I helped her clean up. This company provided software integrations for law firms. So my role was as of account manager for the Southern District. So I had 63 law firms that I managed, right? So what I thought was, as I helped her clean up and as I was immediately thinking about how I was going to go find another job because I had bills every month and I had a little 5-year-old that I had to feed, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So I immediately started looking for another job. But my thought process was not only was I out of a job, but all 63 of those law firms were now out of a service provider, right? So I got a list of those 63 law firms and I started making phone calls. This was after I found a job because I knew I had responsibilities. But I
Hmm.
picked a Friday and I started calling all 63 of those law firms. And my script was, hey, this is Myoshia. So sorry about the office closing. You know, I not only am I out of a job, but I know now you guys are in a difficult position. So are there any projects that you have coming up that you need my help with? Right? So all 63 said no, all of them. But I didn't let that throw me into a state of dejection.
Right.
My response was, okay, no worries. Do you mind if I give you a call next month? So some of them said yes, some of them said no. But I made those phone calls. I would pick a Friday and I made those phone calls every month. Same phone call. And every month, everybody said no. Some of them said I could call them back next month. Some of them said no. So my list kept getting smaller.
Right.
I kept making those phone calls month after month. I stayed consistent. I didn't let those no's get me down. I just kept pushing, right?
Hmm.
Fast forward to November. It's been 9 months now. 9 months.
Hmm.
So I picked a Friday. It was actually Friday the 13th.
Okay.
I started, people were, oh, Friday. I started calling my now 16. My list had gone from 63 to 60.
63 to 16.
I'm making my phone calls, and I think it was the seventh one. And 7 is an important number in my life, but it was the seventh one. And I
Uh-huh.
remember my phone call started like all the other ones. Hey, Naomi, it's Myoshia. Just making my monthly phone calls. Do you have any projects that you need help with? And she said, as a matter of fact, and Keita, when I tell you that my business was born on those 5 words, as a matter of
Matter
fact,
of fact.
I don't even remember the rest of the conversation. I didn't even finish calling the rest of the people on my list. I told my manager I was taking my lunch break. I went downtown. I paid $10 to file a business license, a DBA. And that's how it all started. I left, I went back to the office. And whenever I get a chance to speak in front of a group of people, I tell them the importance of not burning your bridges, right?
Oh yes.
But
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
day, I quit my job and and that's how it started. Literally that Friday November the 13th, 1998. That Monday morning, I was in my new client's office working on my new project as a new business owner. And it was so amazing. I've never been to college. um so just being able to be in this space. So I started my business, and literally I grew that business from 1998 to 2007. I grew my business to multiple 6 figures. It was a really thriving business. It started drying up, and I got into a point where I needed to like take a step back and reassess and all of that. And I
Right.
did that between 2007, and I did it for about 18 months, right? I
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
all of those lessons learned. And then in January 2009, I launched what is now today known as AndTech Solutions. 11 years. We've grown in revenue. We are now at multiple seven figures. So we are a multi-million dollar tech company. And I couldn't be more excited about where this journey has brought me and where the journey continues to take me.
Oh, all the things you gave me the goosebumps like multiple times. I think okay, let me give you my key takeaways. I love calling people on Friday because I think everyone else takes their foot off the gas on Friday. So I love calling on Fridays.
Yes,
So if
yes,
y'all get a email, text message, phone call from me on Friday, you know why, right? And then I think that resilience part that like you are going to hear no. You are
yes,
going to hear no. No is a part of life, but the more that the consistency and bouncing back from no, because like you could have made those phone calls, made one phone call to those 63 folks and been like, well, guess this ain't gonna work, right?
exactly, exactly. And then ball up in the corner in the fetal position, right?
Right, right. And they're like, nobody wanted to talk to me. And so, like, I think that as I, I've been doing this like 3.5 years. Like, I have a toddler of a business that occasionally poops a bed. That's what what I got right now. But I've gotten more comfortable with no than it used to be so devastating. Now it's like, all right, well, you'll call me later. Like,
That's
it's
right.
no today.
That's right. That's
It's
right.
no today. It's not always going to be no. So thank you for sharing that. I think that I also want to acknowledge that I never tell people to quit their job.
Do
That
not
while
do it. Please do not do it. Do
when you
not do
are
it.
building a business and you are a new entrepreneur, there is going to be so much outside of your core competency. And so like keep collecting a check and building your business. So I would never just say rush out and
Yeah.
but that's also I've side hustled my way out. So thank you for sharing that. So here's my question for you. So like when you had to make that transition from your first business to your second business, how did you kind of evaluate that next move? What was your rubric? Like did you have like a checklist that you went through or did you just know it was time to move? Like how did you kind of make that transition?
I always say that, I'm a true believer in maintaining a faith file, right? So you have this file and you're like, okay, that worked. Oh,
Okay.
this put that right there, but you keep all of it, right? So I literally took every mistake that I made. And when I tell you guys, I did not, I didn't know the first thing about running a business.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I didn't. I knew I had a skill set that was needed, but I did not know the first thing about running a business. So
Mm-hmm.
I ran into a lot of pitfalls, a lot of pitfalls. I had a lot of hurdles. I had a lot of challenges, but I took every one of those and I assessed them individually. Like I literally spent over 18 months
Mm-hmm.
thinking and rethinking about what went wrong and then doing whatever I needed to do to learn how to turn that thing around so that I wouldn't do it again. And when I tell you every challenge you can face as an entrepreneur, I'm sure I probably faced it. I remember I remember when I first started my business, the checks had my name on it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
my name.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent my money. Plus, my mother didn't have a brother named Sam. My daddy didn't have a brother named Sam. So I didn't know who Uncle Sam was. Like literally, I did not. I kid you not. So even falling into those pitfalls
Mm-hmm.
and how I learned from that and how I make sure that if I have an opportunity to speak in front of anybody who is thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, who has already taken that leap of faith, but just needs some encouragement along the journey, I tell them about that money thing. Get your money situation straight first. If you get it straight first, you don't have to get ready later, right?
Right. You don't have to
So
straighten it out later.
just do it. Start right. Start right so you don't have to get right. Okay? So just things like that. But I literally took the time that I needed to step back and just really, people, when it's common for us when we work on our projects, and you said sprint earlier, in the work that we do, we operate in sprints. We are an agile house. So we operate in sprints. And at the end of every sprint, we have a sprint review. And then we have a sprint retrospective where we go back and we take a look at what worked and what didn't, right? And I was very intentional about that time that I was able to spend to go through all of those, lessons learned and really be able to identify what that lesson was in there, right? And then take that lesson and build upon it for this new business, because I knew that when I stepped back out there, that I needed it to be right.
Oh
I,
yeah.
I needed it to be right. So and here I am now. I mean, the journey continues, the saga continues, but it is an amazing journey, and I wouldn't take nothing for it.
Oh my goodness. You just lit up my whole life. I got goosebumps. This whole conversation gives me goosebumps. In the sense of like, I think that one of the things that I have loved about entrepreneurship is that you learn the lesson one time. Like where like you can continually make mistakes and be in a safe space in a corporate scenario. When you drop the ball as an entrepreneur, you have got to learn the lesson that first time. It's not like my love life where I keep dating the same dude over and over, right? Just a
Exactly,
different
exactly.
packaging of the same dude. It like, okay, all right, Uncle Sam, I heard you.
Yes, yes, I heard it.
We're
Oh, so
not doing this again.
okay, so that's what that meant. Okay, that's what those letters meant. Oh, that's what you were trying to say. Oh, okay.
We don't have to do that again. Or like even the undervaluing, like when you're first starting out, you're throwing numbers out there and not really taking into account all of your time that it takes to create things and deliver things. And you're
Yes,
going, wow, I literally made 13 cents on
exactly.
this project.
Exactly, exactly. Know your numbers, know your worth, and be unapologetically about it. Just do not apologize, because you've worked to get there, right? You've put in your time, and that's what your clients are getting value from. They're getting value from all of the experience that you're bringing to the table. So yes, definitely know your worth. Know your
Oh,
worth.
we had I was just having a whole like I went big on this earlier on another call where like you're the subject matter expert. You have been choppered in because you're the expert. You have your 10,000 hours plus to be considered an expert. So they're
Mhm.
not paying for the 2 hours. They're paying for your 10 years of experience, 10
Exactly.
plus years of experience. So be the subject matter expert. Okay. Oh my goodness. All the things. I got to like pull it together here. I got to pull it together. So I know that we have a shared passion around time management, right? And in my practice, we call it ruling your time, because time management implies that it can call in sick, it can call in late, it can give you a bunch of excuses. But when you rule your time, your unrenewable resource of time, you are in charge of it. You tell it where to go. And so I know that you leverage technology to create those efficiencies. How else do you rule your time?
You know, I I'll tell you, I believe in calendaring, right? I believe that in order for me to operate at my highest level, I have to strategically manage my calendar.
Mhm.
And that means from a professional and a personal perspective, right? It's not going to do you any good to manage your professional calendar and leave the personal side of it out, and vice versa. Because as an entrepreneur, you have to know that the whole of you has to be considered, right? So on my calendar, I literally have my personal time in the morning. I
Mhm.
have any time that I need to take throughout the day, in the middle of the day, because I believe in refreshing and renewing. You have to
Mhm.
have that time to refresh and renew. And then I believe in working in and filling in all the other places so that I could be productive. Right now, I'll tell you, growing my business, I used to kill myself. I
Mm.
literally used to kill myself. And I used to give it credence, if you will, by saying that the only way I'm going to be successful is if I kill myself and I work a gazillion hours, right?
Mhm.
Right now, I'm at a point where I can be as productive in 5 hours that I am in 16 hours, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So I believe in calendaring, but I also believe, and I put everything on my calendar. And
Mhm.
guess what? If it's not on there, it's not going to
It
get
didn't
done.
happen.
I'm not
Mhm.
going to let your emergency become mine. I'm not going to let your lack of planning So now you have to run to me and say, oh, but I need this. Listen, it's not my fault that you did not plan correctly. So guess what? I have a slot on Thursday, but you're
Okay, is
not.
everyone listening to this?
I have a slot on Thursday. Would you like it? It's between 3 and 3:17 Central. Would you like that? Would you like that?
3 and 3:17. Oh, all the things. All the things.
So, and I'll tell you, this didn't happen overnight. It took me a while because, sometimes we get into the people pleasing. So you want to please them. So you're like, okay, well, I had something. I know I was supposed to, take my walk at 3:00 before my 4:00 meeting, but you know what? I could go ahead and pencil you in here. But then you never get to the walk.
Right. You never get to the things you need for you. Yeah.
So, so just things like that. But oh my goodness, time management. If you can get that thing straight, you'll be okay. You'll be okay. But
the money and your time.
Money and your time.
Money and your time. Money is time. The time is money. I said that wrong.
They come in threes, so we're about to drop another one on you, I'm sure. But yes.
Okay. I gotta brace myself. But like, I think that I'm very much a calendarer as well. And I am very unflexible about my key to time. So first thing in the morning, I have to have my prayer devotion time. I got to go for my walk. I got to do all the key to stuff, and then I can start the day. I am like, that is non-negotiable for me. It doesn't matter what part of the world I'm in. That's what I'm doing. Right? That's my non-negotiable. But also that whole, I have that shared thing when I first got started. I feel like we're getting a little better about it now. But like the idea of giving into the hustle mania, that like, if you're not hustling, if you're not staying up all night working on this, if you're not working 7 days a week, you're not working hard enough. And more does not mean more in that case. More does not mean more. Burning myself out, not getting enough rest, not eating right. That more does not mean more. And like, it's so validating to hear that from you, that like you can run a empire and not burn yourself out. It's not necessary.
It's literally not necessary. And when you think, now I will tell you guys, like, don't get it twisted, as the kids say. Don't get it twisted. There are still days when I know I have something to do, then yeah, I'm gonna stay up all night. But you know what? It's not happening every night, and I'm going to compensate, because if I've stayed up all night, I'm going to stay up so that the next day I'm going to see that thing happen, right? And then after it does, I'm going to take the necessary rest that I need, because otherwise, if I'm staying up all night on Monday so that I can meet that Tuesday deliverable, if I don't recharge on Tuesday, I'm not going to be any good Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, right? So it's a balance. And I'm going to tell you, I can hustle with the best of them. And I know when I need to hustle and when I need to grind for my business. But I will tell you, what I've learned to do is to maximize my time so that I am able to get all that I can in these 5 or 6 hours. I'm telling you, these days, I'm not trying to work more. I mean, 6 is the max. I can do a lot of stuff in 6 hours. I'm not trying to do that because I'm trying to have that balance, and I want to be able to be present. Do you know, in all of these years growing my businesses, right? I was always there, but I wasn't present. I wasn't present. And I'm trying to be present for my family. What good is it going to do us to build these amazing companies and we're not enjoying it, and we're not enjoying the time with those who mean the most to us, right? So I'm trying to do what I need to do, get in there and get it done. It ain't no plan. I'm getting my 6 hours done, and I'm going to be super productive because I'm planning my time and I'm being intentional and I'm being strategic and all of that. And then I'm going to be present. And I know that that's what it's going to take for me to have that balance in my life. And it's going to be different for everybody, but this is what works for me. And you have to be able to find out what works for you.
Oh my, all the things. Y'all following along. I'm seeing the chat. So thank y'all. So how do you structure your day? So now we're talking about that, maximizing your time. So how do you typically structure your day?
I'll tell you, everything I'm laughing, but it is like so true. Like right now, I know, like I have this cutoff because so my husband and I just bought a boat, and I'm trying to watch the sunset on the boat. So that's my like thing right now, right?
Right, right.
Go out on the boat in the middle of the water and just watch the sunset. So because that is a priority for me and I've made that in my life, I have to make sure that everything else gets done, because if it doesn't get done, I can't enjoy the sunset because I'm worried about what didn't
What
get
didn't
done.
get done? Right, right, right,
So
right.
here's the thing. So I know that I need prayer meditation in the morning. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot start my day. I feel guilty when I have not done it. So that has to be first. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I used to work out in the morning, but now I would have to wake up too early
Mm-hmm.
in order to get that workout in before my first meeting with my team, because it's important for me at the top of the day. As soon as that day is starting, I get up, I prep for my day, I have my morning prayer meditation, and then I'm immediately jumping on a call with my team, because part of also being productive is to make sure that you've built an amazing team and that you're able to effectively delegate to them, right? So I start every day with my team, and it's really just a daily stand up. And
Okay.
with my team, this is what we are doing. And it's not a whole outlandish, you're going to spill your guts and tell all it's not that. It's three things. What did you do? What did you do yesterday?
Uh-huh.
What are you doing today? And what roadblocks do you have? That's it. And we do a round robin, and that is literally it. What it does is it allows you to be accountable for what was supposed to happen
Mm-hmm.
yesterday.
Excuse me while I write this down.
You know, it allows you to be accountable for what you were supposed to do yesterday. It allows you to set the intention and the expectation of what you're going to do today. And before challenges get out of hand, you are identifying any roadblocks you have. Don't come, if you have a deliverable on Friday, don't come to me on Thursday telling me that you don't know if you're going to be able to meet it, because you had every opportunity to say, you know what, I'm really facing a hurdle right now. I need some help. Because when you do that, guess what? We
Right,
could tackle
right.
them right then. And that way we tackle them on Monday or Tuesday. You're back on track Wednesday. And guess what? You're delivering early on Thursday. You're not even waiting till Friday. Right?
Right. Oh,
So that's how we start every day.
oh my goodness.
What did you do
Rocking my world. What did you
yesterday?
do? What did you do yesterday?
What are you doing today?
What are you doing today?
What are your roadblocks?
Okay. Success bully team, get ready. Uh
I mean, it's and listen, it sets the expectation for the day. It sets the tone for the day. So now we all know. And see, the thing is, the reason we do it with everyone on the line is that we all know then what we're supposed to be doing. Because guess what? If we do this, Keita, then when you are out of the office tomorrow, guess what? I heard yesterday what you were supposed to be doing. So I can pick that thing up and support you, right? So we're
mhm.
all hearing it, because I truly run an organization where it's all hands on deck. There is no such thing as this is not in my job description. It is all hands on deck. What is it going to take for us to be successful? But that also goes all the way up to the chain to me, because
Mhm.
I am not beyond answering a call from somebody on my team, or taking over an assignment for someone on my team, or helping them out. If it's truly all hands on deck, then that means from the highest
All
to
the
the
way down.
lowest. All means all hands
All
on deck.
all hands on deck. Maggie says heard. Yes, heard you. That's one of my team members.
Yes.
Maggie's like heard.
Mhm. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so another thing that we're quite passionate about here in on the success bully side of the house is goal setting. Like we are all about the big, hairy, audacious goals. So how do you in your organization, how do you approach goal setting?
So we reassess goals often, right? Because your goals are going to change, because times are going to change, circumstances are going to change. That doesn't mean that you leave your core values and and those core things that you have. But from a goals perspective, first of all, we're always reassessing them, maybe 90 days, maybe, another cadence, but we're always reassessing them. And what we do is, even from an HR perspective and all of that, we are setting annual KPIs for our employees, and then we are constantly reassessing those throughout the year, so that by the time you get to the end of your year and you're ready to get your annual review, hopefully we have set you up for success, because we don't want to put KPIs out there that you cannot attain. We
Right.
want you to be successful, because the more successful you are, the higher your morale and the more productivity we're going to be able to get out of you, right? So we want you to be successful. So from a goals perspective, first of all, you have to set them, because how are you going to know where you're going if you don't have a plan, if you don't have those
Mhm.
goals, if you don't have that, right? So that's big for us. That's big for us. And we have our company-wide goals and what we want to do collectively as an organization. And then every individual has their personal goals as well. And we are very intentional and strategic about that too, making sure that your goals align with what our core values are, align with what the big picture is. And then we move forward, and we make sure that our team members have input into that too. They have ownership.
Okay.
It does something to the morale and to the psyche when folks feel like they have some ownership stake in stuff, right? And we make sure that we kind of preach and teach that throughout my company, is that we're all in this together, because as I grow, you grow, right? And I can't grow unless you grow. So it's a whole cyclical thing from that perspective. Yeah.
We're all in it together. So then, did you find that during the pandemic era, did you have to readjust things? I know that we had to adjust the how, not the what. So how did your team kind of manage the new normal?
Yeah, yeah. It's funny you say the how and the what, because we had to, I had to constantly remind my team of the why, right? Do not forget
Mm,
the why. I mean,
mm.
it doesn't matter what happens around us, our why remains the same. And to your point, how we're going to get there may look a little bit different now. And so, from our perspective, we were already a remote, working team. My team resides all over the country, and our projects and our clients, are all over the country. So we were already working in a remote capacity. So from
Mhm.
that perspective, we didn't have to make any shifts or pivots or any of that. What we did find was that a lot of our clients were in pandemic mode, right?
So they were in pandemic panic.
They were in pandemic panic, which means that there were projects that were scheduled that were kind of put on hold and all of that. But all we did was assured our clients that we were going to remain committed and out here for them, that we were going to continue our services, that nothing was going to change.
Mhm.
But then we also found ourselves in an interesting position, because we were able to now help more people than we were before. So that became very important for us, is to make sure that we were able to help some of those smaller clients sustain themselves, and we were able to support them through all of that. And that's kind of where our passion work comes in from, right? That we're really able to create impact and see impact in the people that we serve.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I have one question from the floor. From
Okay.
this is from the Mind Hive. I'm looking dead in your eyes, Nika. Nika's question for you is, what is your drive? What is your drive? And then I'm going to check the comments and see if there were any other questions. So Nika
Okay,
wants to know.
so Nika, here it is, Nika, here it is, Nika. My drive really is all about legacy. Remember, at the top of this interview, I was telling you guys about this child that I had, right? For the first 16 years of my daughter's life, I was a single mother, right? And then I met my husband, and I was blessed with my bonus baby, my baby boy. So everything that I do now is for legacy, and not just for my offspring and for their offspring, but it's for the boys and girls and the men and women that look like me, that won't necessarily get an opportunity unless I help create it, right? So my drive day in and day out is for legacy, and for me to be able to be a voice for those that don't have a voice. Since I'm able to get these doors open for me because I've achieved this level of success, and I really hope you guys see these air quotes, because I've been able to get here, right? I need to be able to understand that there are so many who can't sit at this table. So I be doggone, if I'm here, then I need to make sure that I'm bringing a voice. So my drive is about legacy, and it's about creating opportunities. That's truly what drives me, for real. Like,
Uh,
for real, for real.
Thank you. That was amazing. Nika, thank you for the great question. I
Yes,
didn't
Nikki.
see any other ones. Hold on. Okay. So what's next for you? So you're building legacy. What's next? What do things look like in the next few months for you?
Okay, in the next few months, well, I'll tell you, we have some amazing products coming out and services coming out that I'm really, really excited about. Like, they've been kind of, on the side, on the back burner for a while. And I'll tell you, I'm always looking for opportunities and all of that stuff in every situation. So now, what this pandemic has done is allowed us to kind of focus on some of these new tools. So I'll say what's coming next for us is we're about to launch some new products and services. We're actually going to launch this whole, virtual IT department as a service to small businesses, because let's face it, a lot of small businesses don't have the capacity to hire a full IT department, right? So I think that's the biggest thing. Like, that's my brainchild right now, is this whole virtual IT kind of department, like a virtual help desk or something like that. That's what we're doing. So that's it for me. I desire to speak more, to have a voice more. And I'll tell you, I'll share this really quickly. And I have not shared it a lot, but it has created this fire in me that is much different than anything before. So with everything that's happening in our country, so and it's amazing that the George Floyd murder, murder, that his murder was, occurred during a time where everybody was plastered to, media, right? Well, George Floyd and I grew up in the same neighborhood. We went to the same schools from elementary to high school. So this one hit a little close to home for me.
Right,
you
right.
know, and it did something to me, right? And I won't say that I wasn't vocal before, but there's a new fire behind my voice.
Okay.
And so I think, what's next for me and what's coming up for me is being able to speak from the mountaintop, like literally just be able to get out there and speak and say it. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to
All
say
right.
I'm trying to say it. So yeah, that's what's next for me. But I tell you though, I'm excited. I'm excited about everything that appears on the horizon. I'm actually looking out. I'm excited. I'm excited about everything.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us. Thank you for sharing all these magical nuggets. I'm gonna chop this video up and just oh my goodness, I need to rewatch it so I can take my notes. I was like actively listening. So Myoshia, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for just sharing your wisdom with this entire group. Like I said, We'll share the file. We'll do all the things. Stay on the line for a second. I'm going to close this out, and I want to close out with you. So once again, thank you all for joining us on the 5 days of focus. This is our live show. We plan on doing this every Monday at 3 p.m. So 3 p.m. Pacific time. I realize that we have multiple time zones. So thank you all for joining us. In closing, I want to remind you that we are passionate about time management. Particularly, we call it ruling your time. So we have opened up some time on my calendar for strategy sessions. So I will personally help you understand where you are now, where you want to be, and identify those three big time blockers. And we'll come up with a custom strategy so you can work around them. So you can book your strategy session now. We've opened up some time on my calendar, and you can go to successbully.com/call. Again, I'm Keita Williams, founder and chief strategist of Success Bully. This has been a magical 5 days of focus live. We're going to close out the show. Feel free to DM us if you have any additional questions. We are more than happy to help however we can. All right, y'all, let's get after it.